Well-Rooted is brought to you by Jarrar and Associates CPAs. With locations throughout Los Angeles, Jarrar and Associates has been guiding entrepreneurs and creatives towards realizing their dreams for over 20 years. Discover how they can support your vision at jarrarcpa.com. Hey, it's Haneen. Welcome to another episode of Well-Rooted. Today I'm joined by founder of the Potion Studio, Aziza Elwanni. We have a really great in-depth conversation about hair, what it means to us culturally, personally, how she launched a brand that is now found in Nordstrom's, and what's to come for the Potion Studio. So without further ado, please welcome Aziza Elwanni onto Well-Rooted. Well, welcome. Welcome
Thank
to
you.
Well-Rooted. It is a pleasure to have you. You're stunning, so I hope people are watching this on YouTube as well.
Thank you for having me. This is like such a dream come true. It's my first one,
Okay,
and you're
I'm so happy.
Palestinian. This is
Yes,
amazing.
I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so happy, and I hope it's like the first of many. So I hope it's not too traumatizing, but it won't be. But I want to just get into it because as I mentioned earlier to you off camera, I initially came across you at the In Between or the Between East event last year.
Mhm.
So I've known you as Aziza, founder of the Potion Studio.
Aw,
So let's start there and
sure.
just tell us about the Potion Studio.
Sure. So again, thank you so much. So I started the Potion Studio. It really started off as like a hobby with my mother. I was
Mhm.
like, I think 9 or 10, probably even younger. Like I really love to get in the kitchen and make things. You know how kids go into the
Yeah.
garden and make little witches brews? Well, I did that for hair care. My mom is Black. She is from Curaçao, which is the Dutch Antilles, and my dad's Palestinian. I grew up in South America, in Suriname, which is a very small country right above Brazil. So I am so used to, living in different countries and just being exposed to a lot of being exposed to a lot of cultures.
Mhm.
So obviously hair care has been really like a really big thing in my childhood. So my mom and I, it was like our way of bonding, basically creating things, making things. And I had really dry hair and it was really hard to find products that were easy to use, simple, but still clean.
Mhm.
So it started off as a little fun bonding moment with my mom that really turned into something I would do on a weekly basis. I was always in the kitchen just creating something. Like creating just brings me so much joy. So I moved to Amsterdam. Obviously, like weather changes, hormonal changes, my hair changes. So I was back in the kitchen and, playing around with different ingredients yet again and trying it on my friends as well. Um, that was fun. I got a little bit of a reputation to, go to Aziza to get your hair done.
Love.
I know, very random. So that's how that started. And then I moved to the United States in 2020 at the height of COVID. And it was really hard for me to kind of find a job in the creative industry. So I actually ended up in real estate and I was still itching to do something creative.
Mhm.
So naturally, I was like, well, let me see if I can find someone to kind of help me create my same concept, easy to
Mhm.
use, simple, climate adaptive, and just products that work for all different curl textures. And this started off as like a fun hobby. And I was, in between meetings, in between showings, packing orders from the back of my car. And then
Oh, I
it,
love the
yeah,
hustle.
no, it was a real hustle. And then it turned into pop-ups every weekend and like community events. And yeah, then Nordstrom came along and it was just, we have a real business now.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge accomplishment because I can imagine there are people listening to this who are either starting a brand or have a brand.
hmm
And I feel like there is a stage that comes, to the front where it's like, do I want to start going into retail? And then
Yeah.
how do I get there? So that is a huge accomplishment as a founder. But how does one begin to even go from formulations as, with mom and
hmm
being really creative and hands-on to going into business and getting your name really into the biggest stores in the country? What was like
Yeah.
that first initial step you had to take to really invest your time into building the Potion Studio?
Kind of varied a little bit. I've always been a beauty girl. I've always been really passionate about hair specifically. So back in the day, like in the early like 2000 like tens, curly hair YouTube was really big. So I was already very kind of familiar with what worked, what didn't work. Obviously, also my heritage. I kind of knew what I liked, what I didn't like, what worked, what was multifunctional for hair and body. So I kind of already knew what I wanted. I had time to kind of perfect, not necessarily my formula, but I was able to kind of perfect on what I love the most in terms of ingredients and scents and, functionality of things. So when it actually came down to figuring out what I wanted my products to do, it was fairly easy. I just partnered up with a chemist, this lovely, lovely Black lady. We actually just kind of went over, ingredients, how to make them work and how to make them as accessible as possible, but also the easiest way to use them across different hair textures.
That's really
Yeah.
important. I'm listening to that, and I remember that 2010s phase of I have like naturally wavy
Hmm.
hair, but I think what hinders me sometimes from really just wearing it in its natural
Yeah.
texture is just kind of what you just hit on. It's I don't know the proper ingredients, not
Yeah.
materials that work with
Right.
my hair, and I don't maybe know the exact process, of how to get it
Hmm.
to look like its optimal self. What have you learned through this process about women and their relationship with their hair and maybe what they struggle with the most when it comes to really wearing their hair the way they want to? Because I would argue that most women
Hmm.
probably do want to learn to not to style their hair
Hmm.
naturally, and not do so much with it. But what have you found like in your journey building this?
Well, it really varies because it's so personal, but I
Yeah.
have a lot of friends that are mixed. I have a lot of friends that are from Middle Eastern descent, Asian. Like I've had a lot of growing up in South America and Amsterdam, you come across a lot of women.
Hmm.
And at the end of the day, we just all have the same problems because the media kind of like tells us that, oh, you need, especially for women of color, you need 10 products and 10 steps to create a curl. So naturally we think, well, okay, if I am going to go on my natural hair care journey, I need 10 steps to create just one hairstyle.
Hmm.
Or when I was younger, it was more, so straight hair was the norm. So then now I need 10 steps and a lot of heat to get hair that looks, what's accepted.
True.
Um, so honestly, like the one thing that I found and it has made my life and a lot of people that I know's life so much easier is that less is more. I know that sounds really basic and really simple, but it really is true because we actually look at, I guess like mass hair care products. There's so many ingredients,
Hmm.
and yet and still, if I buy one product, I still have to use add an extra gel, add an extra foam, use this finger coiling technique,
Hmm.
get this brush. It's just too much. So
Yeah.
for me personally, while I was building the potion studio, it was very important to me to have products that they work, but they're still potent and simple.
Hmm.
I don't really believe in a lot of ingredients. I don't believe in like just overconsumption. I launched with with 4 SKUs or 4 units, I should say, and
Hmm.
I've stuck with those 4 units up until now. We've been in business for like 5 years almost. So for me, it's just like, honestly, less is more. And a little goes a long way because
Hmm.
the ingredients that we use, they're very potent, they're very thick, but they work. So I just think one thing that I've learned and the advice that I give everyone is that, you know, do your research. Just don't do too much at once. Because it doesn't matter how thick your hair is, things can get heavy. A
Hmm.
good cleanser, like I feel like everyone told us that, oh, you can't wash your hair every day. And it's like,
Yeah.
but you can, because
Yeah.
the way
Yeah.
to have clean, healthy hair and a good scalp starts with cleansing your scalp properly. So
100%.
yeah, and yeah, you don't need 3 to 4 different shampoos to do that. Like one will
Yeah.
do. So yeah, just honestly, less is more. Keep it simple, and sometimes just let your hair do its thing.
Mm.
That it works.
Yeah. No, that's such a refreshing take. We do live in a very capitalistic society
Hmm.
that wants to sell us as much as it can. And I think that really speaks to integrity of you as a founder, but also your product of being like, this is all you really need.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sell you a million SKUs. I
Hmm.
really respect that. Um, Going back to something I read on your actually on the I was looking at the Push in Studio last night and
Hmm.
I did the quiz because I was like I
Yeah.
actually want to know like what works for my hair. But
Hmm.
I love that. But I love that it wasn't so overwhelming. And I'm like I could actually start here.
Yeah.
And it seems very easy to use. Um, but I also read that you mentioned you realized that the clean hair care that already existed a lot of times
Hmm.
lacks inclusivity.
Hmm.
Can you elaborate on that, please?
Yes. So it's one thing to have clean products. All these things are great.
Mm-hmm.
Sustainable, recyclable, vegan, like all those things are amazing. But back when this trend started, because I feel like the clean beauty um became very relevant, like I think like maybe like 7 years ago. And
Mm-hmm.
everyone was like, oh my God, exclusivity, clean, which is
Yeah.
beautiful. But like every time I would try a product that was, clean, and all of that, it just would not work for my hair. It's either more targeted towards fine hair
Mm-hmm.
or just a different hair texture and not mine. And that makes me really sad because I meet so many different women that have hair like mine or maybe a little bit more tightly coiled. And, I'm like, oh yeah, like this product is great because it's clean. But it's always like, it's clean, but this doesn't work. It doesn't have enough moisture or it's not rich enough or
Mm-hmm.
it's diluted with water a lot of the times. So yeah, like for me, it was very important to just keep it as simple as I possibly could, but still potent. That's why the price is also like what it is. It's still accessible,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not crazy inexpensive, but it's also not super expensive either. Because
Right.
I do feel like everyone deserves to have access, especially women that look like me, deserve to have access to hair products that actually work but are still clean and not harmful. Because Endocrine-Safe is another kind of started off as a trend, but that's something that I do take seriously. But
Okay.
because there's a lot of phthalates, there's a lot of perfumes, fragrances that can actually also mess with your endocrine system and your hormones.
Right.
So for me, it's also important that whatever you put on your body will not disrupt anything else. And that's a really big thing, especially in the textured hair community.
Yeah, that's a really great point. And that's a lot that we, as women, we're constantly having to look out for hormones and
It's
everything that
always
goes.
something. Yeah.
It's always something. Like we already have enough going on. We don't need it in our hair care.
Right.
So that's a really great point, and I think gives a lot of peace of mind as well. Um, speaking about retail and
Hmm.
going into Nordstrom, you've been featured on Anthropology,
Hmm.
on Free People. I mean, you're doing it.
Thank you.
The process of getting like your product into these big retailers,
Hmm.
I'm sure is really hard. But did you feel, or was there a time that you had to like sort of compromise on anything to get there? Or were you able to sort of just scale out into retail without having to do so?
I love that question. Um, yes and no. So I really pride myself on being as genuine and authentic as I possibly can because at the end of the day, like the whole point of me even making this is to make other women and men, obviously, feel beautiful. So that's basically, I don't want to say the story, but that's just what I've been going with since the day that I've launched because I just want my products to be simple because honestly, textured hair is already, for some people, it can be kind of intimidating,
Mhm.
So where do you start? For me, it was just simple, easy to use. And then, hey, we have this one product. This can actually work on different hair textures. See how you feel. Little goes a long way.
Mhm.
That's it. So whenever I pitch to a new retailer, I make it very clear that, hey, this is for, I'm going to give you an example. Like, hey, even though this specific product I do say is for wavy hair or curly hair, however, the ingredients that are in there are actually safe enough to use on your hair, your body, your beard, but it won't weigh your hair down.
Mhm.
So I've always been very honest and very open. Like Nordstrom, for example, like I think they really like that concept because they didn't have a lot of textured hair
Mhm.
brands at the time. Now they've expanded and it's like so much fun to be amongst so many great, like other great brands. But for them, it just worked out. And whenever I do events at Nordstrom, it's just so beautiful seeing women come to me and they were like, "Oh, during COVID, I didn't know I had curly hair, so now I can just use a product and just be out the door." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yes, like my work here is done." But in terms of, I'm sorry, what was the word used again? In terms of compromising.
Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of compromising, not really. I only had to compromise on how I wasn't niche enough. I just had to be a little bit
Mhm.
more niche to make it clear that I am a textured hair brand.
Yeah.
But that was like that was it. And just for other people watching this that want to expand their brand, just just be real, be genuine because it will come to bite you later on if you're not
Yeah.
honest,
Yeah.
So I was very intentional, even with my packaging, I'm very intentional.
Mhm.
I wanted to be another clean luxury brand, but for textured hair.
Yeah, it definitely gives off that vibe. And
Oh,
I
thank
feel
you.
like you give off that vibe. And I think that's what's really important is like you like a part of
Yeah.
you, like you are the brand, and like I can look at you and immediately be like, yes, I'm buying it. Like
Thank you.
110%, I'm getting the brand,
Yeah.
whatever she's selling. And
Yeah.
so how do you separate that? Because I mean, you are the face of this brand. You've built it. Or do you separate it? Like some people are really good at kind of being like not so forward facing.
Mhm.
But obviously when it's a beauty care brand, you have to be. Were you always okay with that? Were you always like okay with being on camera, being
No.
forward facing with the brand, or did you just kind of want to be, behind the scenes more?
To be honest, it's something I'm teetering on back and forth still to this day. Because I'm actually kind of shy, believe it or not.
No way.
No, even like last night, I was like preparing for this. I was so nervous.
No, no, no.
Yes,
I never
like
want anyone to be nervous, but I get it. I get nervous, like just because I'm like, you know what
yeah,
it is? It's like we're meeting for the first time
yes,
today.
yes,
This is growing, so
yeah.
well. Like I just had like good energy from you already,
Thank
and I
you.
don't usually book people unless I feel
Hmm.
that energy.
Yeah,
But it is, it's a little, yeah, it's freaky sometimes to be like, I'm
yeah.
gonna be on camera tomorrow, and it's a lot to think about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm coming out of my shell now because I've
Yeah.
also learned that I didn't even have a public Instagram up until like 5 years ago because I'm so private. I'm like so shy. I just like to live in peace and just create and leave,
Hmm.
just
Yeah.
create and leave. And then I moved here. Like, mind you, I moved here during COVID, so there wasn't
That's wild.
any. It was wild, but
Yeah.
I didn't have the connections like that. Like I just moved here. I did an internship, a free internship at a PR agency just to kind of learn about the business. So I did that for a little bit. Then I got into real estate because, I had bills to pay. I'm launching a business now. That
Yeah.
was a great avenue for me to learn and just get to know a lot of people as well. But no, I think I was speaking to a photographer and she was like, why are you so private? Like you're launching a hair care brand. And I was like, well, I don't know. Like, what if they don't like it? Like, I don't want to be like, I don't want to be responsible for it, but I have to. And she was like, no, like just like it's not like you have the budget to hire people to take pictures of you take pictures of you and do campaigns and stuff. Like all that costs
Right.
money, so I think people would actually like to hear about where the products come from. So that's
Hmm.
really how it started. So um I do separate it, but like now I just feel like, I mean, this is fun. I get to connect with people.
Yeah.
Some people kind of like know who I am now, and I can just really, I would love to be like, I don't know, someone's hairy godmother.
Yeah.
Someone gave me that name, and I was like, oh, that
So
is so
funny.
cute.
That is
So whenever
adorable.
I do pop-ups, like people actually do come up to me, and it's just so nice that I can talk to them and just kind of give them like a one-on-one like curl consultation. So now I'm just embracing it. I'm embracing that it's my baby. And whenever I do pitch to a retailer or, just a pitch for anything,
Hmm.
I'm just as authentic as I possibly can because that does work.
Hmm.
It works. And people, and I love it when I see people talk about their brands
Yeah.
and founders, I connect with them a little bit more. So
Absolutely.
I try to embrace it now. I
Yeah.
am embracing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, and you're doing a wonderful a job.
Thank
No
you.
one's gonna talk about your brand better than you. Like no one knows it better than you.
Yeah.
And people really buy into the person behind the brand. So I feel like everything you're
Hmm.
doing is great. But to your point, a lot of people have this fear of perception or
Hmm.
being perceived.
Yes.
It's very daunting.
Yes.
And it's also like really awkward to film yourself. Like no one
It
wants to
is.
talk about how weird it is to talk to your phone or like it's just very daunting. It's really weird, especially as a woman. You feel like you're putting yourself out there. So kudos to you. Like I think everything you're doing, and it doesn't feel like overdone. Like
Thank
it feels
you.
like you do have like a really good balance of how much you share and like how you speak about your brand. And it doesn't come across as like overbearing in any way.
Okay. Thank God.
So just keep going.
Thank you.
Was there, as you were scaling and going into retail, was there a particular roadblock or moment of, I don't even want to say failure because I
Mhm.
mean everything is like a learning curve more than it is failure, but was there ever a moment where you sort of had to doubt yourself or almost felt like you could have doubted yourself if you allowed yourself to go into that space?
Yes. Yes, and I'll walk you through why I feel that way. This is my first real big girl business. Like I've had a lot of like side hustles in college and, like makeup artists. Like I've done so many like little random things.
Yeah.
Um, but this is my first real business. Of course, it started off as, a hobby, it was
Mhm.
something I was doing next to my full-time job. So I think that moment for me was when we landed Nordstrom because I had to change so much about myself and really had to put on like my founder, business owner hat. And also, this is a family business still. It's literally me, my dad. I have a very small social team. I have a product developer, but it's literally just me and my dad. So I'm literally figuring it out as I go. So when we landed Nordstrom, like so many things were coming at me at once. And like, it was hard. It was like, how am I going to pay for this? Like, what is it going to look like in a couple of years? Like, am I making the right decision? We've only been in business for like 2.5 years. They're throwing all these terms at me. I have no clue. So and this is also right before ChatGPT. We didn't have ChatGPT back then.
Right. Yeah.
So I couldn't really like look it up. I really just I had to read, I had to figure it out. I had to talk to people, a couple of mental breakdowns in the shower, you know, those things.
The normal.
The normal. Yeah. What else is new? So yeah, just the roadblocks were honestly just, I didn't know what I didn't know. So I just really had to figure it out. And I mean, it worked out, but I still have my moments where it's like, did I miss something?
Yeah.
Did I fill out my taxes correctly? Did I hire that person for the right thing? Like, do I even hire that person?
Hiring seems like one of the toughest decisions to make. And I always talk to my husband about this because he works with entrepreneurs all the time. And I'm like, well, how do you know when it's time to hire someone?
Yes.
And how do you know what position to hire for? And like, I'm sure that's like a really difficult decision that you have to make constantly.
Yes.
Yeah. Who was your first hire?
I don't know if I can actually say this. Sorry. This is like off the record.
No. Okay.
I'm trying to think.
And you don't have to answer the question.
Okay. I was like, who do I say? Like, I don't have full-time employees. That's the thing. So like,
okay.
can we leave that out?
Yeah. No, that's totally fine.
What I can say is that, you know, just to keep, I've been bootstrapping this for like a very long time. So I don't really have first hires. I do have really good contractors that I've worked with. And because they knew what my position, I was very honest, like, hey, you know, this is kind of like my budget for this project. Hey, just advise me on how to do certain things. Yeah. And I had a really lovely product developer, and she's actually still with me. She's one of my really good friends, but she's actually the one that will advise me on like formulas and you know, what to launch next. And we just work side by side, and she's a wonderful friend, but also a great product developer. So she's still with me. Of course, I have my dad. He's the one that does some of the financing, but also a lot of the EDI and like the technical stuff. And yeah, I just have a lot of like contractors that I work with.
Which is like also a really good lesson for entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Because a lot of people do think that I need to go all in and I need to hire a full-time employee and I need to, you know, I need to issue this person. Like, no, you don't need to go around issuing like W-2s to every single person. Like there are more innovative ways to go around now of building your staff and building a team to help you run your business. And I think that's really smart as well of how you're managing it. Yeah.
And there's so much money that goes into retail that people don't really talk about. Like I found that out the hard way. There's so many little things that people don't even think about. But every little trip, every little goodie bag that I make, like, you know, all of that costs money. So instead of like trying to hire someone for every little thing, I want to make sure that I can do it myself. You know, like we have so many great like resources now to, you know, see if you can hire someone to do this or just anything small. There's so many resources out there. You 100%. Really don't need a full-time employee.
And most companies and brands are outsourcing certain like projects and certain tasks. Like not a lot of people, most people can't do everything. Right. But like to your point, what you can do, it's really great that you are doing it and you are so hands-on. And I love how you were like, this is before ChatGPT. Yeah, everyone should be doing it this way. Like that should be the norm. Because how else are you going to learn? Yeah. Like you've gotten on this like crash course of entrepreneurship because you've had to do so much on your own. And that you cannot replace that or replicate it in any way.
Yeah. I mean, I'm grateful for AI, but like there's nothing like figuring something out and having an active brain.
Yes.
So, 100%. And that's what I try to tell, you know, even like younger girls, I want to do this. And I'm like, yeah, you know, just want to make sure like this is not always glamorous. I make it look very glamorous online. Yeah. But it's not.
And that is a talent as well.
Yeah, I make it look very glamorous. I know how to curate things really well, but I've had a lot of days and nights where I'm like, how did I get here? Why did I do this? Like, this is, I mean, I know why I did this. It makes me happy, but it's like, it's a lot of work, but it gives me so much energy.
What do you
so much energy.
What do you tell yourself? Like, because you have to be a little delusional to believe in
Yeah.
yourself. So what is the story you're telling yourself when you do hit those moments of
Yeah.
doubt or just frustration?
I have a couple. My favorite, my favorite is, you know, if I like want to cry about something or complain about something, I always tell myself, this is the life that you wanted. You wanted this. All the stress, the tears, the blood, sweat, and tears. Like, you literally wanted this. You prayed about this. You fasted for this. You dreamt about this for so long. This is the life that you wanted. So stop crying. And I mean, you have to talk to yourself. Like, you just have to.
I'm with you.
And then another one that my team, we literally, before, when I was driving over here, I was literally on a call with her, and I was like, oh, like, I'm just like stressed out. I'm in over my head. And she was like, no, you didn't come this far just to get this far. I'm like, okay, true. You're right.
Yeah,
touche.
exactly.
So those are my two favorites. And like, it works. And of course, I'm a big believer in being delusional. I feel like you have to be, especially in this life, be delusional. But also, what's the worst that can happen? Like, what's like really the worst that can happen? Okay, cool. Like, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe like, you know, it didn't come off as like as bubbly on that TikTok, or that TikTok didn't do very well, like things like that. But what's like really the worst that can happen? Like, I really tried. Really tried. And I'm also telling myself, like, there is no plan B. Like, what am I going to do? Go back to Amsterdam? Like, no, this has to work, and it's going to work, and it's working. And if not, we're just gonna have to try again, because like, they're like, I mean, like, seriously, what else? What's the worst that can happen?
True.
So yeah, just stay delusional. And, you know, if I can just help even like one person a day to give them healthy curls, that's great. That's wonderful. That's amazing.
The one person makes such a difference, doesn't it? Like,
yes.
Because that's like maybe your motivation for the day, that one person.
Yeah. Even if I get like a nice review, my whole day is made. Like, oh my God, thank you.
Our first like Apple podcast review, and I was like, we made it. Like, just like that one. Like, I'm like, we're good. We're good. One person.
Let's celebrate this.
Exactly. I'm like, sweetie, we're going to dinner.
Dinner's on me. I got you guys. On the business card.
No, exactly. Those stories are so important. And I totally believe 110% in staying a little bit delusional.
For sure.
Because what's the worst that's going to happen?
You have to.
And I hate the thought of untapped potential. That kills me. And you seem very creative, because you've said like you love being in that creative zone.
Yes.
And when you're constantly thinking of ideas, it will eat at you if you're not acting on those ideas.
Yes. I love the way you worded that, because it's true. If I have an idea, like, first I'm going to go, you know, let's go to Pinterest. Let's see how we can make this work. Yeah. Okay, let's start off with the smallest budget, and then we can figure it out. I feel like I'm the queen of like DIY and just making things look beautiful. Sorry. I feel like I'm the queen of DIY and making things look beautiful and like making things look sexy. Like, I love doing that. And I just love events and like little pop-ups. There's only so much you can do online. There's only so much I can yap online.
Yeah.
There's only so much money I can spend on ads online. There's nothing like hosting a little gathering or hosting a little pop-up at Nordstrom and just having people like come. And then come on, like, I'll give you like a little gift bag, and just, you know, that's really how I also got a lot of my customers. Like, back in the day, like the early days, I would have a lot of pop-ups. I would do like markets. Like, every other weekend, I was in someone's backyard doing some kind of marketing, some kind of market, some kind of pop-up. And I still have people coming up to me till this day. They're like, oh my God, I got a rose bomb from you at this one spot in downtown in 2022, but now I buy it at Nordstrom. Like, you know, thank you so much for showing me that I actually have curly hair and I can wear it out. And I'm like, oh.
I love that your customers like have gotten to watch you grow as
yes.
well. Did you always have this amazing packaging, or was this when you did? That's
I did.
Great.
Yeah, like for me, it's very important, because I've just noticed with a lot of, I guess, like, you know, Middle Eastern owned brands, or just wait, let me like rephrase that. Yes, I've always had this packaging. It was very important to me to keep it clean, minimalistic, but still very like chic. I just wanted to create something that, especially for women of color, I just don't really feel like there's a lot of products or brands that really cater to us. Even if you go to just a regular beauty supply store, if you go to the curly hair care section, everything is super bright, super intense, coconut this, curly this, like, it's just so overwhelming.
Yeah.
Still for me. And I kind of usually know what I need, but just looking at it, I'm like, wow, like, this is overwhelming. So I can't even imagine someone that is just starting their curly hair, their wavy hair journey. So I just really wanted to create something that was super clean, super simple, but will still look nice on your vanity. That was also a really
100%.
big thing.
That's such a big deal now.
It is.
And
It
it's
really
like,
is.
because I like to look like it does calm you down. Like I like to have
Yeah.
like my space looking a certain aesthetic.
Yeah.
And so, and that really is reflective, I think, of like our times as well. Like it
Yeah.
has, you know, like you want to kind of modernize it in some way, but it comes off very luxurious. Like it's really pretty.
Thank you.
Styled
Thank
like really
you.
pretty.
Yeah,
And
I kept it the same.
I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And for me, it was also, I also wanted to attract men, also like especially straight
Mm,
men, because I've also noticed like, you know, a lot of products are like super bright and super girly. And I
yeah.
can understand that like some men don't want that. And
Mhm.
also I really want everyone to feel included. That's why everything is black and white. It's simple, it's multifunctional. Because I have this thing, I have this belief if I can't use it on my skin, why would I put it on my hair? So I formulated everything in a way where my shampoo, for example, you know, infused with aloe vera, cucumber, but it's really good for your body as well, because this is something you can use on your hair every single day, but it won't leave your hair like squeaky clean or super dry. Like I made sure that everything is, you know, consistent, but you can use it for different things. So therefore you don't have to use like 3 different products in the shower.
And a lot of natural shampoo makes your hair very dry.
Yes.
And like like you can get itchy from how dry it makes your scalp as well. So that's
Yes.
a really good point. And just going back to the packaging, the reason why I mentioned that is because you really like I can tell you invested in it
Mhm.
because that's important and you understood the vision and
Yes.
it fit the vision that you had for the product. And I think sometimes people are afraid to take that step of let me invest a little bit more here
Mhm.
to kind of elevate the brand because I know where I want it to go. And it can be scary and it
Mhm.
is a risk, but if you have the vision, it will pay off in the end because it'll get
Yeah.
you it got you into the spaces that you wanted to get into.
Yeah, I had so many arguments with my dad about this. My dad's like this old school, like
Yeah.
very old school Palestinian, either a doctor, lawyer, loser, business owner, you know. So we got something right.
Yeah.
But no, but even when
What's up?
I told him, I was like, oh, I have this great idea, the potion studio. He was supportive about the idea. But when I
Yeah.
said potion studio, he was like, the hell is that? Like, and I'm like, come on, like I used to make potions with mom in the kitchen. Like it's
Yeah.
potions, come on. And he was like, yeah, but no one's gonna know it's hair care. I'm like, yeah, but eventually I would love to do body care. Like I really want a lifestyle brand that
Yes.
I want everything to go hand in hand.
No,
So
the name is so good.
okay, thank you. Thank you.
The name is not the more
Thank
you
you
talk
so
about, like
much.
actually this makes
Yeah,
perfect
and I
sense.
was like, it's cool. And then I
Yeah.
actually had people tell me like, oh my God, when I heard the word potions, like that's really cool. And I
Mhm.
was like, see, like people love it. So I think also just advice for everyone, like respect your parents, but they're not always right. I feel like I was I feel like I was right with this one. My dad was like,
Yeah.
yeah, but why? Like no one's gonna know it's hair care. I'm like, yeah, but they don't have to know. It's a lifestyle brand.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle brand, and it's for us, for women and men of color.
Yeah.
Period.
Period.
Yeah.
No, I think it's great. It's for like that men can use this. Like it's approachable for a man, like for
Yeah.
a straight man, because a lot of guys are wearing their hair more curly these days.
Yes.
Like those like trending haircuts, especially like because I've been watching the World Cup.
Yeah.
So like they all have such great curly hair. So yeah, it
Mhm.
should be appealing to men as well. They need good quality hair
Yeah.
products.
All my
too.
friends tell me that too. They're like, oh, my husband used it in the shower
Yeah.
because in the back it says for beards. It does
Oh,
because it literally, so
Oh, that's
everything is for
great.
beards, all the things. For all
Yeah.
this is for the lazy natural. I coined myself the lazy natural because like don't have a lot of patience, don't have a lot of time. So who has like I definitely don't have the time for a 10-step curl routine.
No.
So I just want to be in the shower, do my thing, out the shower, and just out the door. So especially when I'm traveling, like we have this one product. It's made of Manoi oil, mango butter, and shea butter. And I actually formulated this in a way where you can use it on your hair and your body.
Mhm.
It's a moisturizer. So for textured hair, like especially in the Black community, it's very normal to have a moisturizer for your hair, but not
Yeah.
everyone's used to that. So I created it in a way where really hydrating for your hair, really hydrating for your skin. And I actually got a review from someone and she was like, I have eczema. So this actually helped
Oh,
my skin.
wow.
I'm like, okay, I love that.
I need
Repeat
that in writing, please.
Yeah. So I'm very intentional when it comes to the products that I put on my body, the products that I create, the ingredients, but multifunctionality is a really big thing for me because I am a lazy natural.
I love that phrase, lazy natural.
Yeah.
I think we all deep down want to just be lazy naturals.
Yeah.
No one has time for a 10 step. I barely have time to wash my face. Like I'm not gonna do a
Right.
million things to my hair.
Also the patience. It's too much.
Yeah, yeah. And we're busy. We're
Right.
busy.
The girls are busy.
The girls are busy. I want to backtrack and I
Hmm.
want to talk about your upbringing.
Yes.
You come from a mixed background. Your dad's Palestinian, your mom is from the Caribbean.
Hmm.
You grew up in a very interesting place.
Yes.
I just recently, I was doing a deep dive last night as well, and I was like, this is the smallest country in South America I
It
had never
is.
even heard of, to be quite honest. So, and this just, I think, goes into so much, plays into so much of who you are that
Hmm.
I really want to know more about your upbringing.
Yes. Love this question. Any chance I get to talk to shout out my countries, I'm so excited. So my mom is from Curaçao, and shout out to Curaçao. We just
saw
had
them
our
in
very first
World Cup?
World Cup.
Yeah.
I'm so excited, and there was even like a meme going around of how great their hair looks.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know, I know the jeans. So yeah, like, so shout out to Curacao. So happy. So that's where my mom is from. My mom's a Black woman from the Caribbean, from Curacao. Used to be a Dutch colony, so that's where the Dutch connection comes in. Then we have Suriname. So way back in the day, my family actually came from Palestine. Unfortunately, they had to leave. They had an olive oil or an olive farm. They had to leave, and then they came to South America. So my dad told me that they were supposed to go to Peru, but they ended up in Paramaribo. That's the capital of Suriname. And Suriname is a very small country. It's right above Brazil. It's in between Guyana and French Guyana. Also a Dutch colony. So that's also where, like, the Dutch language
Yeah.
comes in. So basically my dad lived in the Netherlands for a while, so did my mom. That's how they met. And then my parents moved back to Suriname, and that's where I grew up. So basically, Suriname is probably one of the most beautiful countries ever. It's so underrated. It's also connected to the Amazon. Actually, like, don't quote me on that. Suriname is a very beautiful country. It's very diverse. I grew up in a country where there's people from Indian descent. We have the natives. We have people from Indonesia, a lot of Lebanese, Palestinians. So everybody, also people that came from Africa during the slave trade. So I grew up in a country where we all lived in peace. Like, literally, there was a mosque, there was a church, and there was also a synagogue, literally all connected to each other,
It
like
sounds
right
like a
next to each
dream.
other. It was a dream. It was a total dream. And then I grew up, I just grew up in a country, sorry, I grew up in a community where if Eid came around, we all celebrated. We all had a day off at school. If we had Diwali, we all celebrate that. So we would actually celebrate everyone's holidays of, like, all
So
ethnicities.
this is the happiest place on earth.
The happiest place on earth. It's super diverse. Everyone is, like, mixed in some way, and it was beautiful. So, with everything that's happening right now in the world, it just makes me so sad because, like, I've been raised to just accept everyone and just be, like, respectful. Whether you're Jewish, whether you're Christian, whether you're Muslim, like, just, you are just respectful of everyone. We all come together.
Yeah.
And that's just how I was raised. And also in Suriname, so a lot of exotic fruits, a lot of different sorts of mangoes, oils. So just imagine as a kid making hair care products and
Yeah.
just making stuff. Like, I had the best time.
I
So that's really
bet.
where the potions really came from.
Yeah.
And so that's Palestinian. My mom's Christian, my dad's Muslim. I'm also Muslim. So I just had the best time. Like, my grandmother was actually the first person that taught me how to pray. So I've always been a very open-minded individual, and
Yeah.
I just love hearing about other people's cultures. So that's really how I was raised. And I try to bring that back into my in my brand as much as I possibly can, because it's a little tough. People haven't really heard of Curaçao or Suriname, but they know about Palestine. So I'm trying my hardest to see if I can include something and just make people
Yeah.
really feel seen. For me, it's about making people feel seen and just giving back in a way that I'm still figuring out how to give back. But for
Yeah.
me, just giving back is important. Making people feel seen is important. And, making people feel beautiful.
Yeah. No, I think your story is so interesting. I've
Mm-hmm.
never, for me personally, I've never met someone who was like from like half Caribbean,
Mhm.
from Curacao.
Yes,
Am I
yes.
pronouncing it
Yeah.
correctly? And from Palestine. And then your worldview is like so influenced by your upbringing, and it's such a
Mhm.
beautiful upbringing, it sounds like. And then you later, I think, moved to Amsterdam, right, for college?
Yes, moved to Amsterdam for college, and that's a whole other beautiful country of
Hmm.
just a melting pot.
Yeah,
You
I
know, a lot of
bet.
Moroccans there, so I'll
Uh-huh.
always have love for Morocco. A lot of
Yeah.
Turkish people there, people from Suriname, people from Curaçao, keep people from Cape Verde. Like, there's just like that's just has always been
Cape
my
Verde,
life.
another country
Another
people
country
recently
that, yeah,
learned about.
yeah, but they're honestly the nicest people. They're super
Yeah.
cool. So we all just lived in harmony. So that's why I'm also very grateful for the Netherlands that I got to see like a different
Hmm.
side of that too. But yeah, even when I started, before I even started the brand, like I would just have all my friends come and then we would just like have iftar together and then, hey, like, you know, your curls are looking a little dry. Let me let me fix that for you with
That's
my
the way to
potion.
do it. That's how you get
Yeah,
started.
I still have people messaging me from back in the day and they're like, "Oh, I remember that one time you cut my hair on your lunch break
Wait,
at
I
your
love it
beauty
because
job.
this gives
And my
you
hair
so
still
much
looks."
legitimacy. Like, it's such a good backstory.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope my ex-managers don't see that, but you know, I've done a lot. And yeah, it's just I'm just a big believer in you can totally live in peace with everyone, just be
Mhm.
respectful. Be respectful and
Yeah,
be open.
100%.
Yeah.
Everyone take note. Everybody
Right. Just be
take note,
respectful.
please. What from those two backgrounds, like beauty ritual wise, have you absorbed into your own life,
um
if any?
Yeah, 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 totally. I would say less is more.
Yeah.
And that's really for both sides. Because in Curacao, you know, it's a very small island. But we have a lot of influences from, you know, from Venezuela, from Colombia, and also just from the US because it's so like centrally located.
Hmm.
So they basically pull from a lot of countries or surrounding islands. And also in Curacao, a lot of things are also, you know, DIY.
Mm,
So my aunt was also very like into beauty. So even as a kid, she would put avocado oil in my hair and, you know, we would do the what do you call it? Like the hot oil treatments with like avocado, you mash it together, a little bit of
yeah.
avocado oil, like so many little DIY things. And I'm still a big believer in DIY, do it yourself, like try something that you have in your house first before you
Hmm.
spend hundreds of dollars on a routine. And then also, you know, just in, I feel like the Middle Eastern community, I feel like olive oil, because we had an olive oil farm back in the day.
Yeah.
And my family still does a lot with olive oil.
Hmm.
So basically, it's just, look, olive oil you can use for literally every
Everything.
single thing,
Literally
every
everything.
single thing. Like back in college, sometimes if I didn't have money to just, you know, to buy, you know, new hair oil, you know, I mean, I know my mom bought me olive oil like 2 weeks ago and I'll use that. I'll mix that with like some kind
Yeah.
of conditioner and just create a mask, you know? So less is more. They keep telling us that we need all these products. We really don't. So less is more, potent ingredients, keep it simple. And sometimes just leave your hair alone. Leave it alone. You don't need all the extras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, those are really good pieces of advice when it
Hmm.
comes to hair care. Um, and then when you moved to the US, did you move here by yourself?
I did.
Did you
I
move
did.
here with the intention of starting a business, or was that after you already had moved?
That's crazy. I always knew I wanted to create something,
Hmm.
but I actually went to school for fashion. I mean, I did like a short stint in like nursing school, but then I'm just such a creative person. It was really important for me to do something creative. So I have a background in fashion and a background in beauty PR. So when I moved here, like in a perfect world, I was like, oh, I want to get into fashion or I'm
Yeah.
gonna do beauty. Didn't pan out that way. So I was like, well, if I still want to do something creative, like why can't I just do something for myself and just figure it out? But to answer your question, I never wanted to really start a product-based business. For me, I've
Hmm.
always wanted to either start a platform or something like in tech that was still beauty adjacent.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I had to really have to sit with myself and I was like, what is the one thing that you spend the most amount of money on, the most amount of time on, and that makes you the happiest? Like what will determine your mood?
Hmm.
And I was like, it's my hair. As sad as that sounds, it's my hair. Like I also moved here and I don't know what was happening. My hair and the products I was used to using, it wasn't working out the same. I don't know if it was because the water, I didn't know what hard water was until I moved here.
Yeah.
The water was like really messing with me, like the weather, I really had to go back to the drawing board and really figure out what was going on with my hair and how I could fix it. And that was another thing. And I was like, am I the only person that has this issue? because everywhere I would go, my hair would respond differently. So for me, launching the brand or just launching a product, I had to make sure that whatever I was making, people could use in different climates, different countries, on the plane. That's a really big one. So my intent was not to start a product-based business, but I knew I wanted to do something. It would have to make sense. So even if let's say I would have 0 sales, I'm still going to use it because I need it. I put so much love and time into it. And it actually works.
Yeah.
And it really started off as like a passion project, hobby, turned into like my baby.
That's such valuable advice and words for other people to hear. So many people just want to start something to start something.
Yeah.
Or they could have like that entrepreneurial like gene where
Mhm.
they know they need to,
Mhm.
but they're kind of looking outwards like, oh, what will sell? What will people
Yeah.
like? What will people be attracted to? But really when you're so focused
Mhm.
on what you want to use, what you would, and I think the same is like it could be said for like content creation. Like, what do
Yeah.
you want to listen to? What do you want to hear? What do you want to
Yes.
watch? If you wouldn't want it, then no one else is gonna want it.
Right.
But like knowing that you use this and like that this is what works for you, I'm like, okay, so it works. Like I want to use it as well. I
Yeah.
believe in it because you believe in it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm.
Yeah, but I'm a big believer in that. That's why I always tell people, like, because girls will come up to me, they're like, "Oh, I want to start my own business." Like, and I'm like, "Okay, well, why though?
Mhm.
Why? Is it because you don't like your job? Is it because you want more for yourself? Like, what's the real reason?" Because for me, the reason was, well, I had a lot of reasons, but for me, it was just, I just love to create. Like that, creating something, making something with like your hands. Even when I launched the business, like I didn't have the budget to, have my manufacturer do everything for me. Like I was still hand labeling everything on my own. Like I would have my mom come, we would like hand label things together. I would package stuff together. I would put boxes together. Like
Mhm.
just that grind. Again, it's not sexy, but there's nothing like seeing your product in a Nordstrom and then like, yeah, I packaged that box. So I always tell people, like, if you're not passionate, let's say for example, you launch the business and you won't make any money, are you still going to be okay? Because, I've noticed that a lot of people do things for outside validation, which is nice. I mean, it's very nice to get a shout out. It's very nice to
Mhm.
have press.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like all of this, it costs money. And are you okay with launching something that people maybe don't like right away? It's going to sit. Are you okay with that? Because that's the real test, And I mean, yeah, you can go viral, but virality, it doesn't really last very long. You can go viral for one thing and then you order all this inventory and then the hype has died down. Like, and then what? Like, are you going to be okay with that? And, not all of us love to work a 9 to 5, but this is 24/7. So even if even when I was still working 9 to 5, I was still coming home and like either labeling something, figuring out something with my website because something wasn't working. So your why is very, very, very important. Very
Yeah.
important.
The work doesn't stop when it's your business.
Yeah. But for me, it gives me energy. That's why I think I can just juggle so many things because it actually genuinely makes me happy. But I always tell people like, like, what's your why? Like sit with that for a second.
But it sounds like you've always been you've always been very ambitious, like almost to where you knew you
Mhm.
would like you were gonna work for yourself. Like
Yes.
you knew you were gonna because you're very creative. So you want to create the space that
Mhm.
you want to work in. And you
Yeah.
created that for yourself. Have you always had that spirit since you were growing up? Does that come from your parents? Like, is that just who Aziza is?
Mhm. Both of my parents have a very strong work ethic. My dad has always worked very, very hard. Um, and also, and this is just me being very transparent, like, I like nice things. I've always liked nice things. And I also like experiences, so those things really, actually, no, don't say that. Let's crash that. Okay.
I
Let's,
love experiences.
okay, okay. So to answer your question, sorry, what was the question so I can reiterate that?
Oh, I don't.
Sorry, no, okay, no worries. I'll just talk.
Just talk,
I'll
girl.
talk.
Just keep going.
Yeah. No, so for me, both of my parents have a very strong work ethic.
Oh, yes.
Um, so it was always instilled in me that, life is beautiful, life is expensive, but you have to work hard. So for me, it was never about like, oh, just, take the easy way out and just, like sometimes they're like, oh, you just find a rich man. For me, I was raised on, no, you be the rich man.
You are the rich man.
Yeah. And not literally, but more in the sense of you know, it's always good to build something and put in the hard work, because life is, guess what? Life is getting expensive by the day. So yes, it's not, it's very okay to like nice things. It's okay to want the soft life, but there is always going to be an element of having to put in work.
Yes.
And I also believe that, you know, if you work hard, if you're genuine, you're just consistent, it will come back. Like the amount of things that I had to do for free in like the first couple of years, or even just in my career, like it's okay, because all those things are now coming back. Like, I've planted all these seeds, but you have to work. You have to put in some kind of work to get some kind of return back. It's just like a fact of life. And even though I've learned so much from all the jobs that I had and just all the hobbies that I've had, there is something about just still working for yourself, you know, and making your own schedule. And I don't mean it in a way where it's like, oh, I can just get to wake up at like 12 and work for yourself. No, it's about being consistent and being intentional.
Because you probably are more consistent because you have to, like, it runs on you basically, than someone who goes to a 9 to 5, because it's a lot of pressure.
For sure. And especially also in working in real estate. Another misconception, people really think that real estate is just like this great job and you get to roll out of bed whenever you want to and sell millions of dollars and sell millions of dollars worth of property. But that's also hard work. If anything, that shaped me even more, because it's really up to you. It's up to you to make the decisions. It's up to you to, you know, foster these relationships. So honestly, real estate and entrepreneurship, like, they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And you have to learn how to time manage.
Yeah. And you have to be able to take initiative. A lot of people
and people
lack
say no
that.
to you. That happens all the time.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I was actually having a conversation with someone yesterday who we were discussing the mentality of some people. So some people are just natural born creatives and entrepreneurs. Some people are so okay with working the 9 to 5, being an employee, which that's great. Some people just like that consistency and having that structure and being able to go home and turn it off.
Yes.
Because you don't really have that luxury if you're going to be an entrepreneur. As you said, it's not always sexy. Like, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. And a lot of people don't know that until they actually get started.
Yeah.
So I think knowing yourself, like, you have a really good sense of self. And that's something that I've learned to pick up on people right away when they sit in that chair. I'm like, oh, as I'm talking to you, I'm like, oh, you just know who you are really well.
Thank you.
Have you always had a good sense of who you are? Like, or has that just sort of come? Well, I mean, we're women, so it kind of comes with our intuition.
I love that you said that, because someone asked me that yesterday. We were actually like going over, like, you know, what I would like to say today and how I want to come across, because I'm a yapper and I will go from one thing to another. So I was talking about this, and I think like, I think someone asked me, like, what's like the one thing that you love about yourself, or what you look for in other people? And my answer is always having a strong sense of self, because especially with social media, especially with everything that's going on in the world, if you don't really know who you are, you're so easily influenced. You can just go any which way that you're pulled. And I think that's very dangerous, especially for young women. You know, I mean, I was blessed enough to have parents that, you know, were a little bit strict, but they still gave me the freedom to explore and do what I needed to do, whether that was nursing school, trying to get into medical school, fashion school, my MBA that I dropped out of. You know, they gave me the freedom to just kind of learn, but they would also have conversations with me saying, hey, like, you did too much there, or hey, you need to focus a little bit better. So they gave me the freedom to fail. And I think that's also something that's not really celebrated enough.
They gave you permission to fail.
Yeah. Because you know how it is with like, you know, parents that are,
of course,
you know, immigrants, to say it that way. Like, it's very strict. Like, it's very very high pressure. So imagine not getting into medical school. So like all those conversations, but it's like, you know, it's just like, it is what it is. Like, I'm working hard in a different way, and it's okay to fail. It's totally okay to fail. People don't talk about it enough. And I like to call it failing forward. So just getting that strong sense of self, it didn't come overnight, but I did always kind of like know like who I was. At a young age, my mom put me into like pageants and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I won because my mom was always one of those people, like, if you're going to do something, you need to do it.
Yeah.
There's no losing here. I mean, fine, it's okay if you lose, but let's try not to. So I was always raised to, you know, work very hard, but always be humble. That's another thing that people don't talk about. Like the being humble aspect has gotten me so far. Just being humble and also just being honest. Like, hey, I'm scared. Hey, I'm shy. I don't think I'm ready for this, but you have to. And I feel like that's what also builds confidence. And that's what really gave me the confidence to just move here on a whim during COVID. So yeah, did that answer the question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
No, that was an amazing answer. I love the concept of failing forward,
Yeah.
failing your way to success, I would say even.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather wake up one day and say, okay, cool. I've tried everything. I tried every single thing and it still didn't work out. That feels better than, oh, I wish I did that. Or I wish I did XYZ.
Yeah, you don't want to live in regret.
Exactly.
And you have a lot of ambition that you need to like act on.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you'll implode.
Right.
Where do you see the Potion Studio going? What's next for the brand?
Well, I really want to hone in on more community building. Nothing brings me more happiness than meeting new people. And I want to go to like more cities and even do more collaborations with also like more Middle Eastern owned brands. So that's definitely on the horizon. We're also launching a really nice product very soon by the end of this month. And that's infused with, you guessed it, olive oil. So,
yes.
So yeah, that's coming up. And we have a couple of like other like really exciting things that I can't speak on just yet, but you guys will see it end of August.
That's exciting.
Yeah. But mostly building and just bringing people together as much as I can.
That's really important. And I know you had an event a couple weeks ago.
Yes. I had a pop-up for Juneteenth with Nordstrom. Mm-hmm. We had like a full-on like a master class and it went really well. I want to do more of those. So that's definitely also coming up soon in a city near you. So so yeah, just more community events. It just brings me a lot of happiness as opposed to just like spending money on ads online and stuff. So more community events, in-person events, and more curl consultations. Those are always fun.
Ooh, a curl consultation.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's very much needed.
Yeah, that. And then I've done this a couple of times with Soho House. It's basically, I would have people come in and we would do potion making classes. Like custom boxes, cool. Custom little things made. People would come in and I would just basically give them a small little master class on how to create like little potions, specifically oils.
Yeah.
And people love those. I really want to bring those back.
That's so cool.
Yes.
Like I feel like that's so cool. Not enough people are doing like IRL events like this where it's like more hands-on and not just like a pop-up that you just go purchase products and leave.
I want people to like stay. I want people to stay, feel it, see how they like it.
Talk about it.
Yes. And that's really how you get, I hate to use the word ROI, but ROI in the sense of like, I just made a new friend today and she loves the product and then she'll probably keep using it for the next couple of years, So for me, that's huge than just like a dollar amount.
Exactly. That's a really great outlook. We always wrap up with what does being well-rooted mean to you? So what does being well-rooted mean to Aziza?
So being well-rooted means to me having a strong sense of self. Like I can't say that enough. Like knowing who you are, that's something no one can take from you. Doesn't matter if you lose everything you have today, but if you just have that strong sense of self and obviously also believe in God, you will be fine. You will figure it out. And it's you figuring it out is what gives you the confidence at the end of the day. And just what makes you, just be genuine and just be real, but in a real, genuine way, not the performative Instagram way. Just being, performative way. Yes, what makes you happy? What brings you peace? What gives you energy? Those are things that you really have to think about. And that's what keeps you grounded and well-rooted.
Oh, I love it. Okay, where can people follow you? Where can people find the Potion Studio?
Well, thepotionstudio.com, obviously Nordstrom.com as well and in person. And you can find me just at Aziza Elwanni on Instagram. I'm very personable. If you have a hair question, slide in my DMs.
You'll want to follow her. She's fabulous.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming
today.
So this was so fun.
I appreciate it. This is great. Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Well Rooted. If you enjoyed today's episode and felt it brought you value, please subscribe, leave a comment, give us a like, and a review. This episode of Well Rooted has been brought to you by Jarrar and Associates CPAs. With locations across all of Los Angeles, Jarrar and Associates has been helping entrepreneurs and creatives make their dreams come true for over 2 decades. Go to jarrarcpa.com to learn more. This is Haneen, and we are all well rooted.